The reports at first said he had died of a car crash. But then a more tragic explanation emerged to explain the death of Thaddeus Wilk Farrow. The 27-year-old adopted son of Mia Farrow had committed suicide, shooting himself in the torso as he sat in his car in Roxbury, Connecticut, on Wednesday afternoon. Mr. Farrow, a paraplegic and polio survivor who had lived 24 miles away in the town of Torrington, was rushed to hospital with life-threatening injuries but pronounced dead less than 2 hours later. "We're devastated by the loss of Thaddeus, our beloved son and brother," his actress and humanitarian activist mother said on Twitter. "He was a wonderful, courageous person who overcame so much hardship in his short life. We miss him." Sadly, the Farrow family has had to get used to missing each other. Premature death has become an occupational hazard in a family that has spent decades lurching from one awful tragedy to another. Even before Thaddeus' death, there had been talk of a Mia Farrow curse. The actress who gave birth to the Devil's Spawn in the Roman Polanski film Rosemary's Baby has had to endure every mother's worst nightmare not once, but 3 times. Of the 10 children Farrow has adopted since 1973, joining her 4 biological offspring, 3 have died young and a 4th became estranged after being seduced by Farrow's former lover, Woody Allen. 2 more say they have been abused, one by Allen and one by Farrow herself, claims that are denied. This week, attention has focused on life in the family compound of Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie, where their 3 biological children and the 3 they've adopted from developing countries reportedly charge around with knives, bullying staff and screaming blue murder at the top of their lungs. But Thaddeus' death reminds us of the family who started the trend for Hollywood stars to scour the poorest corners of the world for needy children to adopt. And it serves as a warning that there's not always a happy ending to what begins as an act of charity and humanity. Farrow, now 71, truly scoured the globe in her search for suffering, comparing herself to being in a lifeboat pulling in all these people in the world in pain and distress. The star, educated at an English convent boarding school, has always been dogged by catastrophe. Farrow herself almost died from polio aged 9 and was placed in isolation for 3 weeks. She claimed it was this experience that set her off on her humanitarian path. "It made me feel like a pariah and left me with a desire to relieve suffering," she said. She and her former husband, conductor Andre Previn, had 3 biological children. The oldest is now 46, before they started on their adoption path, taking in 2 Vietnamese toddlers, Lark Song Previn in 1973 and Summer Daisy Song Previn in 1974. The Vietnam War brought home to Previn and Farrow the senselessness of having another baby when there were already so many that needed homes, she explained. 4 years later in 1978, they adopted a 7-year-old Korean girl, Soon Yi, who had been abandoned by her prostitute mother. Of these first 3 adopted children, only Daisy is still part of her mother's life. But then almost all her adoptees struggled with the vast cultural shock of suddenly becoming the children of gilded celebrities after having had nothing. 3-month-old Lark was plucked from a Saigon orphanage and flown to Paris, en route to a mansion near Dorking where Farrow was living with Previn, with a romper suit for clothing and a 10-teaspoon tied to her wrist. When Farrow, who divorced Previn in 1979, relocated to New York, Lark and Daisy became the first Farrow children to make headlines. They were arrested in their teens for shoplifting hundreds of dollars worth of Christian Dior lingerie from a shop near the family's Connecticut home. Sadly for Lark, that was just the beginning of her descent as she struggled with drugs and then, in her 20s, contracted HIV/AIDS. Her then-husband, a drug addict and convicted felon named Chris McKenzie, sold a story that she had contracted it from a dirty needle in a tattoo parlor. Both of Lark's daughters were born with the virus and grew up in near poverty in a squalid flat in the Bronx as their mother struggled to raise them alone. Lark was only 35 when she died of pneumonia in 2008, falling desperately ill as her mother was in the Congo engaged in her endless humanitarian work. On her death, Family friends claimed Lark turned to drugs in her late teens because of the traumatic custody battle that tore apart the family in the early 1990s. Soon-Yi was around 20 at the time, and she and Alan moved in together and married. She never spoke to her mother again, although, in court papers, she was damning enough. According to Soon-Yi, many of her siblings had fallen into theft and alcohol abuse and truancy. As for Farrow, who had been seeing her ex-husband Frank Sinatra throughout her 13 years with Alan, she was no Mother Teresa, said Soon-Yi. Jane Reed Martin, a film industry friend, also stuck the knife into Farrow's unusual family, telling the custody hearing that Farrow showed favoritism to her biological children. She said that Lark was pretty much used as a scullery maid. Another child at the center of the custody battle was Farrow's fourth adopted baby, Moses Amadeus Farrow, a South Korean with cerebral palsy who she had picked up in 1980 when he was 2. By 1992 he was 14, and a letter written was read in court. In it he expressed his hope that Alan would become so humiliated that you commit suicide. He had changed his tune by 2014, however, saying he had reunited with his father, severed ties with his mother, and accusing her of physically abusing him as a child. From an early age, my mother demanded obedience and I was often hit as a child, he said. She went into unbridled rage as if we angered her, which was intimidating at the very least and often horrifying. One might have thought the harrowing trauma of the 1992 custody case, not to mention becoming a single mother, would have put Farrow off children for life. Far from it, she went on to adopt several more at a rate of one a year. The first was Tam, a blind girl from Vietnam. She became the first Farrow child to pass away when she died aged 19 of heart failure in 2000. Described as a sensitive and smart child who was incredibly devoted to Farrow, mother and daughter had been extremely close. Tam always had a weak heart, but her death reportedly devastated Farrow. Also adopted by Farrow was Isaiah, an African American born to a crack addict mother, another blind girl from Vietnam, Frankie Min, and Quincy, the daughter of another drug-addicted African American mother. And of course there was also poor Thaddeus, previously called Gabriel, whose truly awful background was catnip to the saintly Farrow. Abandoned in Calcutta as a child who was paraplegic and suffered from polio, he was forced to crawl on his hands and stubs of legs as he begged for food. Later, in an orphanage, he was chained to a post and children threw rocks at him to hear the deep-throated growls he made. Farrow said that when she saw him in 1994, she instantly knew, "That's my son." 3 years ago, Thaddeus, paralyzed from the waist down and forced to use crutches or a wheelchair, was a car mechanic studying to take on a job with the police. Cynics have been saying for years that Farrow, a UNICEF Goodwill ambassador since 2000, might have been better off helping her own dysfunctional clan rather than trying to save the world. She has never really listened. No one makes it through life without some bad things happening to them, Farrow said after she split with Alan. "I've had my share, I guess, but I don't feel bitter. Perhaps it's just as well that Mia Farrow, a modern-day Joan of Arc on a quest to save humanity, can't waste too much time worrying about her own ill-starred family. Just the thought of it might be enough to crush anyone."